Hello, young learners. Today, I've come with a bit, or you can say a very sensitive topic. That's a poem, actually. You must have observed people cutting down trees. Do you think they can kill a tree, or you can kill a tree? Is it easy to do so? Is it easy? Do you think it's easy to kill a tree? See, trees are living things, right? Here, the poet Jeev Patel, he tries to sensitize the reader, and he's giving us the fact that trees are living things. He compares humans to the trees. And he is a person who was born in the year 1940. Jeev Patel is an Indian poet, a playwright, a painter, as well as a practicing physician. His poems speak of deep concerns for nature and expose man's cruelty to it. Man is very cruel to this nature, right? Like cutting down of trees, deforestation, you must have learnt about. He's bringing that over here. We should not cut trees, he says, because destroying trees is just killing a human being. That's how he compares. He says, if you destroy a tree, it is just like killing a human being. And he also tries to tell us that a tree does not die just by cutting it down. You know what happens to a tree? Even if you cut it, it regrows from where it is cut. If it has to be destroyed, it has to be uprooted. Uprooted means அப்படியே அடியிலேருந்து அந்த வேரோட பிடுங்கி எடுத்தால் மட்டும்தான் you can kill a tree, he says. Otherwise it will regrow. So we are going to see to this poem on killing a tree. So let's read the poem and find out what the poet says on killing a tree. On killing a tree. Okay, so let's read it paragraph by paragraph, and the explanation also will be done. Word meanings will be given. So let's begin. Come on. Now turn with me to page number 110. On killing a tree. Page number 110. Let me read the paragraph first. It takes much time to kill a tree. Not a simple jab of the knife will do it. It has grown, slowly consuming the earth, rising out of it, feeding upon its crust, observing years of sunlight, air, water, and out of its leprous hide, sprouting leaves. What do you understand in the first stanza? See, it takes much time to kill a tree. Don't you think so? These trees are very huge, and it's not that easy to kill a tree within no time. அவ்வளோ ஈஸி இல்லை. அவ்வளோ பெரிய மரத்தை நம்மளால் அவ்வளோ ஈஸியாக சாகடிக்க முடியாது. இட்ஸ் நாட் தட் ஈஸி. அண்ட் ஹி சேஸ் நாட் அ சிம்பிள் ஜாப் ஆஃப் த knife. Jab means, what do you mean by jab? A sudden rough blow. Jabna just ஒரு chop, அப்படியே ஒரு கட், அப்படி ஒரு நைஃபை வச்சு if you just cut it, you think the tree is going to die? Nothing can be done to the tree. You know why? It has grown slowly. Tree doesn't grow like us. See, around 10 years to 20 years, we become adults. But these trees, they take real time to grow. And how they grow, they consume. Consume means they take. Consume means they take the nutrition from the soil. They take the nutrition from the earth. They feed upon. Feed means எதை சாப்பிடுது? It feeds upon its crust. Crust என்ன? The hard layer on the outside of something. Crust na the harder layer outside la. அப்படியே மேலே இருக்கிற ஒரு ஹார்ட் லேயர் தான் crust. ஸோ earth-உடைய அந்த crustல இருக்கிறத என்ன பண்ணுது? It feeds on that. What do you think it feeds from the crust? Yes, it absorbs the sunlight, air, the water, and out of its leprous hide. Leprous hide, what do you mean by leprous hide? Leprous means the discolored bark. Have you all seen the outer layer of the tree, children? That hard layer is there, right? If you just cut that down or அதை மட்டும் சாப் பண்ணி பார்த்தீங்கன்னா அந்த ஹார்ட் லேயரை அதுக்குள்ளே ஒரு வெள்ளை கலரில் அந்த wood இருக்கும். அந்த what is that called? The trunk. It's a strong trunk. White it will be, like a skin. Okay? So that's what he says. The poet says, he calls it the leprous hide sprouting leaves. So he says the tree is firmly bound with what? With the soil. What all it takes, what all is it observes? It observes the sunlight, it observes the water and air to grow into a strong trunk. And from that trunk, what happens? There are branches coming out, and from that branches there are leaves sprouting. It's or no? Sprouting means and the branches lende leaves veliye varradha nama paakrom. So tree grows very gradually and it takes the nutrition from the soil, then it becomes a very big tree. It's not that easy to cut such a tree which has observed years of sunlight, air, water, and it has grown into a big tree. Just a simple jab cannot kill a tree. Got it, children? Yes. Now let's see to the word meanings. Jab. Jab means sudden rough blow. A hit, you can say. And then comes leprous hide. Leprous hide means discolored bark. And I gave you another meaning also, that is crust. Crust is hard layer on the outside of something. I hope you understood the first stanza. Now let's go to the second one. So hack and chop, but this alone won't do it. Not so much pain will do it. The bleeding bark will heal, and from close to the ground will rise curled green twigs, miniature boughs, which, if unchecked, will expand again to former size. Now, what these human beings do, they cut and chop the tree. But this alone won't do it. This alone is not going to help, or it's not going to destroy the tree. It is not going to give much pain also. Not so much pain will do it. That's what the poet says. It's not going to give much pain. But the point where the tree is being cut, from there, the sap will come out. Sap means it's that liquid that comes out from the trees and the plants when you cut it, right? So that is called the sap, that white liquid. Like how when a human being is wounded, or when a human being gets hurt, and that part where it is cut, what happens to us? We start bleeding there, isn't it? So the same way, The trees also bleed from where it has been cut. But that is not going to destroy the tree, he says. What will happen from that particular place where it has been cut, where it has been chopped or hacked? From there will rise curled green twigs. Curled means அப்படியே இந்த சுருளமாக அப்படியே சுருட்டி சின்ன twigs means small thin branches. குட்டி sapling ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணோம் அங்கேருந்து வர்றதுக்கு. It will look like the miniature bows. Miniature அப்படின்னாக்கா this something big is shown very very small, right? So that is called as miniature. ஒரு miniature tree மாதிரி இருக்குமா bows means branches. ஒரு குட்டி ஸ்டார்ட் ஆகிறது அப்போ தான் அந்த கட் பண்ண இடத்துலேருந்தே ஸ்டார்ட் ஆகும். பட் when you just leave it unchecked, செக் பண்ணாமல் விட்டுட்டீங்கன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்க, you just leave it like that, பாதி தூரம் சாப் பண்ணியாச்சு, இல்லை இந்த கிரவுண்ட் லெவல் வரைக்கும் you chop it and just leave it unchecked, what will happen is it will slowly expand again. Expand means slowly grow again, and it will come back to the former size. Former the previous size, how big the tree was. Again it will come back to that size. So that's what he says. Even if human beings try to cut it, it is not going to do anything to it. It won't do it. But this alone won't do it. Won't. W-O-N-T. Won't. இது மட்டும் பத்தாது, இது மட்டும் போதாது. And it is not going to give it pain also. It will just bleed for some time from there. And what will happen further? These curled green twigs will come out. அது miniature bows மாதிரி இருக்கும். Miniatureனா குட்டி branches மாதிரி it will come out. And if you just leave it unchecked, it will expand again and it will come back to the former size, that is the previous size. You got it? Yes. The word meanings are hack. Hack means cut roughly by striking heavy blows. ரொம்ப ரஃப்பாக கட் பண்ணுறது, சாப் பண்ணுறது. And then comes twigs. Twigs na small thin branches. Miniature means a small copy of something which is much larger. Bows means branches. Bows means branches. No, the root is to be pulled out of the anchoring tree. It is to be roped, tied and pulled out, snapped out or pulled out entirely out from the earth cave, and the strength of the tree exposed, the source white and wet, the most sensitive hidden for years inside the earth. Now see, all this is not going to help. Chopping, cutting, just a simple jab, hack, nothing is going to kill a tree. But how do we kill it? That's now the poet wants to say. He says if you have to kill a tree, the root has to be pulled out, he says. So the tree has to be uprooted. Uprooted means அந்த வேரோடு நம்ம பிடுங்கினா மட்டும்தான் the tree will be killed. Out of the anchoring earth. Anchoring earth means, what is the meaning of anchoring earth? The tree is so tightly held by what? By the earth, isn't it? அவ்வளோ டைட்டாக பிடிச்சிருக்கு. So the earth supports the tree and so tightly it is holding. So the tree has to be separated from the earth. What you should do is, you have to rope it. Take a rope, tie it, pull it out, snapped out, and pulled out, snapped out. Snapped out means chopped out. Whatever you chop it and then pull it out, The entire thing is with the roots you have to pull it from the earth cave. So the earth is holding tightly, isn't it? So from that cave means from inside the earth, it has to be just pulled out like that. And when the strength of the tree is exposed, when you pull it out, the tree loses its strength. When it is exposed means when it is taken out, shown. When it is taken out, the strength of the tree is exposed. And how does that roots look like? It looks white, it seems. The roots are white in color. And also damp. Damp means what? Wet. Wet is damp. And that's the most sensitive hidden part. Don't you think so? That's the most sensitive hidden part. All because of that strong roots, the tree grows again and again. And this root is there for years inside the earth. Am I right? It is there for years. Have you heard of people telling that this is 100 years old, this tree is 200 years old? So trees grow for long years. They grow and they live for long. So that's what he says. If you have to really kill a tree, it is not just chopping it or hacking it or just a simple jab is not going to do anything. What is actually to be done is to pull the root out of the earth's surface. The word meanings are anchoring earth. Anchoring earth means trees are held securely with the help of the roots in the earth. Snapped out. Snapped out means chopped out. Snapped out means chopped out. Then the matter of scorching and choking in sun and air, browning, hardening, twisting, withering, and then it is done. Once the tree has been uprooted, what happens? It will be taken out and thrown in the sun. And it withers. Withering means it becomes dry. So it withers, it dries up. Due to what? Due to the scorching. Scorching means the heat of the sun and the air. Due to the wind, it withers. All the leaves and all that just wither. They become dry. And due to the heat, the scorching heat of the sun, what happens is the tree trunk will become brown. And then it will twist. Twist na apdi irigi poi. It will harden finally. It hardens. That is what is browning and hardening. And finally what happens? After all this only, and then it is done. That is, the tree will die this way. So finally the tree dies this way. You got it? Yes, children. I think you understood the whole poem on killing a tree. Let's recall the poem. This on killing a tree, I told you it's a kind of a sensitive poem. And the poet wants the reader to know that the trees should not be destroyed. And he is actually comparing the trees like killing a human being. He says that a plant or the tree takes sunlight, water, air, and all the nutrients from where? From the soil. And gradually, slowly, it becomes a huge tree. It gets strong branches. There are so many leaves grown on the tree. A simple jab or just cutting a tree cannot kill the tree. When you cut the tree, what happens? The sap comes out. What is that sap I told you? The liquid. And he compares that sap to a human being who bleeds due to the wound or hurt. When a man hurts himself or he has a wound, it bleeds, the blood comes out. The same way he says, when a tree is also cut, the sap comes out. And slowly it heals and slowly it becomes very normal. New branches come out from that. Tiny leaves grow and again it grows into a big tree. But if you really want to destroy a tree, what should you do? You have to uproot it. Uproot means what? Entirely pull out the root from the soil, from the earth. And the color of the root is white and it is wet due to the wetness or the moisture inside the soil. And it is hidden, for years. Isn't it? Inside the earth. And these roots are the most sensitive part of the tree. Because of those roots only, the tree grows again and again. So if you have to really kill a tree, these roots have to be detached or it has to be taken out of the earth. And finally, how it dies is, once you take out or once the tree is uprooted, it withers. Withers means it dries due to the heat and the wind, and then it twists and hardens, and only then it dies. So this is the way poet G.V. Patel explains, and he also says cutting down of trees is not good because it goes through this long process to grow, and trees are very good. So let's save trees. I think you understood the poem. Now let's do with the poetic devices. Now the literary devices of the poem. The first one, can you all see any rhyming words over here in the poem, children? Any rhyming words? I don't think so there is any. So there is no rhyme scheme in the poem. So it is written in free verse. There is no rhyme scheme, rhyming words here. Okay, so that's the thing that you have to know. And the literary device 2 is enjambment. Can you find enjambment here? What's enjambment? When one sentence continues into 2 or more lines without any stop. Can you see the enjambment here? Find out. Try finding out, children. See to this first stanza, second line. Not a simple jab of the knife will do it. It has grown, slowly consuming the earth, rising out of it, feeding upon its crust, observing years of sunlight, air, water, and out of its leprous hide. Got it? Sprouting leaves. Only where sprouting leaves there is a full stop, it stops. So it just continues without any stop. So it is enjambment. Got it? Yes. Let's go to the next literary device. There's one more enjambment. I am very sorry. There's one more enjambment here. Can you see the third paragraph? See page number 111. See the last 2 lines. The most sensitive hidden for years inside the earth. Got it? So these are the two paragraphs, that is without any stop. It just continues, the line continues, so it is enjambment. The next literary device is metaphor. What do you mean by metaphor? Metaphor is indirect comparison. What is metaphor? Metaphor is indirect comparison. Now tell me where it is in the poem. There's something which is compared to something. What is that? The leprous hide. Did you see that word leprous hide in the poem? What is that leprous hide? Yes, children. See the trunk of the tree. You just take away the bark. You chop that bark and take it out. How does that trunk look like? It looks like a person's skin who has leprosy. லெப்ரஸிங்கிறது இந்த குஷ்டரோகம்னு சொல்கிறான்ல, அப்போ அந்த குஷ்டரோகம் இருக்கிறவங்க எப்படி இருப்பாங்க, அது ஒயிட்டாக இருக்கும்ல, அந்த வெண் குஷ்டம்னு சொல்கிறாங்கல்ல, சம்திங் லைக் தேட். ஓகே, ஸோ திஸ் ட்ரங்க் ஆஃப் த ட்ரீ அண்ட் த லெப்ரஸி பர்சன் லுக்ஸ் த சேம். அந்த வெண் குஷ்டம் உள்ளவங்களும் இந்த இதையும் கம்பேர் பண்ணும்போது இட் இஸ் அ டைரக்ட் கம்பேரிசன். ஸோ இது ரெண்டையும் கம்பேர் பண்ணும்போது it looks the same. So that is why it is called as leprous hide. See, the uneven color of the surface of the trunk of a tree is compared to the skin of a person suffering from leprosy. The leprosyங்கிற வேர்டு நீங்கள் இந்த வியாதி கேள்விப்பட்டிருப்பீங்க இல்லையா? So this is the indirect comparison. So that trunk is compared to leprosy. Okay, and then comes bleeding bark. What is that bleeding bark, children? Bleeding bark அப்படிங்கிறது வந்து, see, I told you, no, when it is chopped, what comes out? The sap comes out. So that sap is compared with what? The sap is compared with the blood of human being. The sap coming out of tree where it is cut is compared to the bleeding from the wound in a human body, isn't it? So that blood is compared with the sap. So it is a direct comparison, and both these are metaphor. Both these come under which literary device? It comes under metaphor. The next one is alliteration. Alliteration is the repetition of a consonant sound. Can you find a few from the poem? Where is it? The first one is bleeding bark. Where is this bleeding bark, children? It is in the second stanza, fourth line. Bleeding bark. So which consonant sound is repeated? B sound is repeated, right? Very good. Okay, and the next one is white and wet. White and wet. Can you see that in the third stanza? See page number 111, the fourth line. Can you see white and wet? So which is the sound, consonant sound that is getting repeated? It is W. W sound. Very good. And then comes the repetition of a word or a sentence. That comes under which literary device? It comes under repetition. Can you find any repetition here? Any word getting repeated? I'm sorry. Yes, pulled out. See the third stanza, it is pulled out. Can you see? The first line is, the second line has pulled out, and again the fifth line has got pulled out. So pulled out is getting repeated. It is just to lay emphasis on it, to make it more interesting, to make it more important. These words or sentences are repeated in the poem. So pulled out is repeated. Got it, children? Yes, I think I have done with all the literary devices in the poem. And you have understood it also. So, On Killing a Tree, written by Jeev Patel, is been taught. The literary devices have been done. Hard words have been given. Okay, so I want you to learn. I will be sending you the classwork and the worksheet. Thank you very, very much.